Welcome along, my name is Ben and in this video I'm going to show you how to draw and make this Spongebob puppet out of a single sheet of paper. Now on this channel I design, create and show you how to make paper-based working replicas of beloved Muppets, puppets, characters and creatures. Now, they can be pretty complex to make, so in this series, I'm keeping it simple and I'm going to show you how you can bring to life your favourite characters and creatures using a single sheet of paper. Now, the basis for creating all of the paper puppets in this series is my printable folding template kit, which you can grab for a small one-off payment from my online store and then use again and again and again to create your own collection of paper puppets. So, let's get into it. This is how to create a Spongebob puppet out of a single sheet of paper. So, as you can see, the first thing I'm doing is cutting the sheet in half, and we'll come back to that half later for drawing SpongeBob's body. So I'm just trimming the face template, ready to go. Next up, we're going to add a few pencil lines to create a grid. If you do the same, it will help you to match the features to what I'm doing here. They're a really useful guide to getting the proportions right. Drawing lots of circles is the key to SpongeBob's face. As you can see here, we're starting with these 3 circles for the nose and cheeks. Then we've got these 2 slightly bigger circles for his eyes, each just cresting the diagonal lines. Circles within circles for the pupils, and then these even bigger circles on the outside connecting them all together, completing the eyes. Don't worry too much about perfection at this stage because there's going to be room for adjustments once we ink these lines in with the black biro pen. Next we have these 3 chunky eyelashes on each eye. Then we've got a nice curved line for the mouth which goes from cheek to cheek, dipping down to the central fold line of the template. Then we're going to add in his sponge holes here on his face. Not forgetting the highlights in his eyes. Next we've got his teeth just below the fold line. Then we're going to add in all the other sponge holes to what will be the top and side of his head. These circles more or less match those in the cartoon, but you don't need to worry too much about their exact size and shape. Down here at the bottom we're going to draw the outline of his mouth with a few simple curved lines. I find it easier to break it up and do it section by section rather than trying to do one line in one go. Here we've got the tongue, again a couple of nice little curved lines, and here are the beginnings of his throat and his little uvula. So we're nearly done with the sketching. We're just going to add these wavy edges to his face, which will come into play later when we start to fold the head into 3 dimensions, and then we're going to repeat these lines on the edges of the template. With some final touches to the nose and corners of the mouth, we're ready to ink the lines in. Here's your chance to make any final adjustments if there's anything you aren't happy with, and you'll notice I'm using a red biro for the cheeks. And then once we've inked it all in, we're just going to rub all the pencil marks out, ready to colour it in. I'm using alcohol markers and I'll share the colours I use in the video description. And here I'm scoring these wavy lines to help shape his head when folding. In terms of the official fold lines of the template, I always recommend scoring those before you start drawing. We're cutting the teeth at the sides and the bottom here so that they're going to stick out when we fold the paper over, as you can see here. Then you'll need to cut a small rectangle of paper from the other section that we left aside, pop it under the teeth on the front side as a barrier to stop any of the glue getting onto the teeth themselves. Then we stick it onto the back section over the area of the teeth to strengthen it. Then we just colour in those little bits of white on the front side. And next we're on to the folding. Full details of this folding process come with my printable folding template kit, which, as I mentioned earlier, you can grab for a small one-off payment from my shop to use over and over again. But you can roughly see here how it gets folded. Here we're just folding and locking the corners at the top of his head, and we'll do the same on the other side. My template kit has a few different head shapes available, but for Spongebob, as you might imagine, I'm using the most square template available. This is where our scoring from earlier allows us to give the edges of his face that wavy feel, so we can just pop the paper into place along each curve with our thumb. We're teasing back the paper here to allow our index and middle fingers to grip here at the back, and then threading the thumb into the back of the bottom jaw section, which will allow the mouth to open and close. The final bit of the head is to trim around the edges to create the wavy effect all the way around the head. Now we're moving on to draw his body. Where the head was a lot of circles, this is a lot of lines. First I'm creating a rectangle with a cross through it, which is 105mm across by 95mm down. We'll add more vertical lines here. The lines on either side are 10mm in, and then the next two lines in either side are 26mm from the centre. For the horizontal lines, we have one 15mm from the top, the next one a further 15mm down, 20mm above the central line. In the middle of those two lines, we've got three further horizontal lines, one bisecting the distance between them, and then the other two are 75mm from the above and below line respectively. From there, we've got a grid to start working on the drawing. We'll start with his tie and shirt collar. These wavy lines are the bottom half of his face. We've got a few more sponge holes to add. And then his chin. Then we have the sleeves of his shirt on either side. Then his arms down there. The hands start in little circles on each side. These little lines here, which you'll see more clearly in a second, are going to help mark out the belt on his trousers. Next, his trouser legs. And then his legs come down from here. Going back to his hands, we're using a slight banana shape here for each of his fingers. The top of the shoes are circles about the same size as his hands, as are the toe ends of his feet. We'll add the heels and what will then be the shiny part of his black shoes, and then the top and bottom of his socks. We ink in the body with the black biro in exactly the same way as the face. The chin's going to be in red pen rather than black though. We rub out the pencil marks, leaving only the pen marks again, and then add the colour and cut it out. To finish, we're going to fold it into a 3D shape as shown. As well as these diagonal fold lines that I'm showing on the side tabs, you also need to continue the central line fold to the very edges, which I didn't quite show here. Glue the flaps and stick the central one to the bottom of the mouth. Then we glue the side bits in as shown to the thumb hold section and then allow time to dry. And that is your SpongeBob SquarePants puppet made from a single sheet of paper.